The purpose of this game is to make sure the girl doesn't get stung by a bee. So let's begin by creating the game. Using your Google search tools, let's find a graphic of a girl. Notice when I put the girl on the stage, she has a white background. I'm going to change her ink from copy to background transparent. It's not a clean picture. I can clean that up in Fireworks, but for this little activity, I'm just going to change my stage color to white so you don't see this ugliness. So let me go and fix my stage color. There we go. Now we don't see anything. The first thing we want to do is we want to make this graphic track with the mouse. So let's go into our library. When we open up our library, I want you to go to Animation Interactive. And in Animation Interactive, let's scroll down and look for the behavior called Sprite Track Mouse. Sprite Track Mouse. Drag and drop that behavior onto our sprite. A pop-up window appears. You want to center the sprite on the cursor. So I'm going to leave that checked. And of course, I don't want the person to be able to take the girl off the stage, so I'm going to limit to the stage area. So I'm accepting the defaults. Click OK. Okay. Now, in order to test this movie, I want them to be able to stay away from the bees for like 10 seconds. So instead of using a hold on current frame, I'm going to use a loop for X seconds. So let's go into our library and get that behavior. That behavior is found in navigation. It's right below hold on current frame. Here it is. Loop for X seconds is going to go at the end of our scene. Let's bring it down to 10 seconds. Now I haven't set up my markers yet, so let me hit OK. I'm just going to test my movie so you can see that. Notice how I can move my mouse and my girl moves with my mouse. That's what the Sprite Track cursor does. All right, let's set up our scenes. So this is my start. Let's make up another. I'm going to call this buzzed. So that's if she gets stung, you could call it stung. And then my last scene will be yay. All right. So you're going to need to know your marker names. All right. So if, going back to my loop for X seconds, if, don't double click on that. Let's just go over to our behavior inspector. If I loop for X seconds, when they finish the 10 seconds, I want to jump now to yay. She hasn't gotten buzzed. So I can rewind, play my movie, notice how I'm tracking, and let's just see if it jumps after 10 seconds. So I'm testing my loop for X seconds, and it did. So we worked. All right, let's set up our text for our scenes. I'm not going to worry about importing a font. You all know how to do that. I'm just going to use a standard font. So in my text window, what do I want to say if she got buzzed? You got stung. Let's add another text cast member for my third scene. Yay! You didn't get stung. You avoided the bees. Okay? So real simple, nice big font. I'm just using Arial because I'm keeping this movie short. Let's put our text in our second scene. So my buzzed is going to be, you got stung. Let's move my text so it fits nicely on the stage. And let's get the yay, you didn't get stung. Okay, I'm going to move this one over a bit. Give it a little bit of space. Just make sure it lines up. Okay. Yay, you didn't get stung, so let's move that over. Okay. Now, when it actually does get stung, I'm going to want to loop this back so it keeps playing so she can get stung again. So in order to do that, I'm going to drag my loop for X seconds at the end of my second scene. But I'm just going to have it sit here for 1 second. 1 second. It's going to say, you got stung, and then it's going to go back and continue playing. So where do I want to jump? I want to jump to my start so it continues to play. Hit OK. Now when it goes yay, for now we'll say that's the end of the game, so I'll put a hold on current frame. Let's drag that hold on current frame into my cast and then up to my score. You could have dragged it right to the score. I just dragged it here first because I wanted to. Okay. So I have so far my girl. Notice how I can track. Don't kind of like that arrow though. Maybe I'd rather have the hand on here. So it's tracking my mouse, and I avoided my bees. So everything's worked so far. But let's change that arrow to a hand. And that's our rollover cursor change. We've used that a lot. Let's go into our library. Rollover cursor change is in animation, automatic. No, interactive, excuse me. Animation, interactive. Let's scroll down and look for that rollover cursor change. Here it is. I'm just dragging it into my cast. Now I'm going to see my sprite on the stage. I could either drag it to the score or to the stage. I don't want the finger, I want the hand. So go ahead and pick a built-in cursor. There's my hand. Okay. And now when I play my movie, I've got a hand, and I like that better. So the new item that I showed you today is this Sprite Track Mouse. What a nice thing. Notice how when we make our custom cursors, the cursors are really small. So now I can make my girl a little bit bigger. I do think that this girl is too big, so I'm going to just make her a little bit smaller. I think she'd be hitting a lot of bees. Okay, next step, let's get these bees on our stage. So I'm going to begin by placing the bee in the second channel. I want this to be on the smaller side. Let's get these bees flying all over the place. So I'm going to copy this sprite, and I'm going to paste, and I'm going to keep pasting, so I have a whole bunch of bees. Let's put 5 bees for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's give one more. And let's pull them out so they're all over the stage. So I have 5 bees. That's good enough. You can always add more. All right. So we want these babies to be running around the stage. So that's our random movement behavior. Let's go into our library. Again, we want animation, but this time we want automatic. And the automatic animation we're looking for is random movement and rotation. I am going to drag it on all of these bees. So let's select all of the bees first. Drag and drop. I'm going to accept the default first, rewind, and play. But you notice how the bees, they're not looking so good. And I don't like that white background either. So I'm going to change my bees ink, and I'm going to make them more wacky. So let's highlight all of the bees again. Go into the Sprite tab, and let's hit background, let's go matte. All right. In addition, I want to make these move more crazily. So on my behavior tab, I can go into my random movement, and I can bring up my wackiness. I can bring up my speed of rotation. I can bring up my loopiness, and I can bring up my speed of movement. Now, when my bees, they're all over the place. My bees are a-flying. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to do is I want when the girl hits the bee, I want it to buzz, like you got stung. So let's import a sound. File, import. Let's navigate to our share folder. In the share folder, we have our waves folder. So, shares, go to your class folder, 127 Katsakos, go into waves. Now, this is cool sounds, and I know I have a buzz in here. Here it is. So let's add the buzz, standard import because it's a really short sound. If you want to play it, just right click and play your sound so you can hear it. And that's exactly the sound that I'm looking for. Okay? Import it into your cast. Now, in order to play that sound, again, we're back to our library. We want to go into, this time, Media, Sound. In Media Sound, let's drag and drop play sound onto all of my bees. So I'm going to drag and drop. You can either drop them onto the cast or into the score. I'm going to play buzz. It automatically looked for the sound file in your cast. The only one I've got is buzz. I don't want to play it in sound channel 1. I never like to do that. So I'm going to stick it in sound channel 3. Now, when do I want to play the sound? When the mouse clicks on the sprite? No. I want it to when the cursor moves over the sprite. So when the cursor moves over the sprite, it's going to buzz. I don't want it to loop. All right, so I'm going to hit OK. Now, let's test our movie and see if the sound works. So when I play, it's getting buzzed. It works. Last item. We want to add a script so when the girl does get buzzed, it goes to the buzz scene and lets her know that she's gotten buzzed. This is a sprite script. So we're going to select all of the bees in the score. We're going to add the script by using our sprite toolbar. Click on our behaviors and select new behavior. This script is a nice, easy script. All we're going to do is change the handler. The handler changes mouse up to mouseEnter. So we've worked with mouse down, we've worked with mouse up. Now we have a handler, mouseEnter. So when the girl enters into the space of the sprite, this action will take place. So what is the action? We're going to go to another scene. So we need to go to a marker name. Let's go back to our stage and see what we called that marker name. I called it buzzed. So back to my script, write the marker name in quotes. That's it. Let's close out. You'll notice that you may want to name your script. So I'm just going to call it buzzed. I think it's a good idea because it tells you more about what that script is about. When you click on the sprite, whether it be in the score or on the stage, you'll notice I have my random movement, my play sound, and my buzzed. So let's see if it works. All right, let's see. Oh, I got stung. It's back, and I can continue playing my game, trying to avoid the bees. Oops, I got stung again. Oops, I got stung again. All right, let me hide out here in this corner. Whoa, whoa. Okay, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And we have just created, yay, a cool little game. Now remember, what's new here? We have Sprite Track Mouse. So we can make an object track the mouse, whether it be in this case a girl or a weapon that you might want to use in one of your games. We also have used a new script with a new handler, and that handler was on mouseEnter. You could use that for like a maze game if you wanted to make sure that the person tracked an object in a maze, if it hit into the border, then they would have lost. Just throwing out another idea. We also used play sound, and it played the sound when our cursor went over an object. So, hope you liked it. Hope you have some ideas for the games you're creating. Thank you.